Well, 3 weeks after journalist Jamal Khashoggi was last seen alive, Turkey's president says there are still many unanswered questions surrounding his death. In an address before Parliament, Recep Tayyip Erdogan denied Saudi Arabia's explanation about what happened and said Khashoggi died as the result of a brutal, premeditated murder. Saudi state media says King Salman met with the journalist's family in Riyadh a short time ago, expressing his condolences along with the Crown Prince, who was also present. And just a short time ago, Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince, was seen at his high-profile Saudi investment conference. Clarissa Ward joins me now from Istanbul. And Clarissa, this was a highly anticipated speech by the Turkish president, which was expected to reveal the naked truth, which is what we were told. It seemed to fall short, though, raising many more questions than it answered. What were the key takeaways?
Well, I think that's right. It ended up being more of a strip tease than it was a revelation of the full naked truth, as had been promised. But nonetheless, Lynda, there were definitely a couple of key nuggets in there that we hadn't heard before. I think most tellingly was the revelation put forward by President Erdogan that Turkish authorities believe a team from the Saudi consulate went to the Belgrade and Yelva forests on the outskirts of Istanbul the day before Jamal Khashoggi disappeared on some kind of a reconnaissance mission. We had known that there has been activity recently in those forests. Turkish authorities appear to be interested in them potentially carrying out searches there, looking for Jamal Khashoggi's body. We don't know exactly, but we had never heard this news that potentially a Saudi consulate team had actually carried out some kind of a reconnaissance mission there. So that was the first piece of breaking news. The second piece, I would say, was this idea that the cameras in the consulate behind me had been disconnected from the hard drive. Now, this is interesting for a couple of reasons, Lynda. Firstly, because it helps us understand why, if the Saudis went to all the trouble of hiring or using a body double to walk out in the clothing of Jamal Khashoggi from the back of the consulate to create the illusion that he had left alive, why they didn't actually release any footage of it. If you remember correctly, while they were telling that lie in the beginning and saying that he had walked out, they also said they couldn't provide footage because their surveillance cameras were not recording that day. Well, now it appears they were intentionally not recording. And then the other interesting thing that we're hearing today, Lynda, not in conjunction with Erdogan's actual speech, but there does seem to be quite a lot of activity going on, police activity at a car park in Istanbul. Authorities have been at that car park since yesterday when they discovered an abandoned Saudi consulate vehicle. Forensics teams on the scene, presumably looking for DNA, looking for fingerprints, looking for any traces that would give some sense of where the body of Jamal Khashoggi might be, Lynda.
All right, Clarissa Ward, still a lot to cover on this investigation. Live from Istanbul, Turkey, thank you.